Hello. So I wanted to do a New Year's update for my project, which is called Elvengroin Legacy. And just to show sort of, first to introduce what it is for people who may not know, talk about a little bit of what I've done so far and where I'm going with it. The sort of elevator pitch sort of for it is that it's a massive single player offline procedurally generated dynamic fantasy first person RPG. Okay. So it's basically like like a modern take on Daggerfall, but not really Elder Scrolls or anything. It's just my idea on what something like that could be if it was done today. Uh, and one of the core ideas is that it is offline generated, not like Minecraft where you were generated when you start it every time. Rather, I will like basically take as much time as I can. Like it could be like a week that I take to generate the whole world and the inhabitants in it and their relationships and cities and rivers and the terrain and everything. And then that basically produces a game for people to play in. And then maybe I do that every 6 months or something. That's sort of the general idea. And one of the things that I'm constantly trying to remind myself of is that I want to make a game. I don't want to make a tech demo. I want to make something that you can play. That's not just something that can be used as an inspiration for someone else to make something fun. I do try to work on gameplay stuff, not just sort of cool engine stuff or cool rendering stuff or things like that. So I don't really want to end up in a situation where I've worked on it for 5 years and all I've produced is just a cool renderer or a cool world generation tool or 5 useful game libraries or something like that. That's great, but I want to make a game, and I want to make my sort of one of my big goals is that it should be like a sort of like a gold standard for what procedural generation can mean for games. That's like a lofty, big goal. So this is something that I'm doing on my free time, which I don't have too much of. So this is like, on a 5 to 20 year scale, and hopefully even beyond that. We'll see. So what I've done so far, I started with this back in April, I think. Sorry. And the first thing I did was that I knew I wanted a big world, something like I have this table here of what Daggerfall is and what my game is, and I'm aiming for roughly the same size as Daggerfall, though obviously much more detailed. Exactly, these numbers aren't set in stone or anything, but that's just what I'm roughly aiming for. So I wanted a big world, and I realized that, well, I can't just like generate it all in one sort of like the whole world in one go, because that's not gonna fit in the memory. So I came up with a solution that allows me to like generate the whole world, but I can do it piecewise, and something like I can generate one corner of the world and have a completely different part of the world still reference this world and know everything about it, even though it hasn't really been like they aren't generated at the same time, basically. So I did a proof of concept of that and got that working. Probably will rewrite it at some point, but I'm at least quite happy that it works. And then I basically been I think I did that for maybe a month or something, and then I switched over to actually like making a game part. So what I have right now is I have this, which is right now I'm using a debug camera, but I can switch to like a first-person mode where I can run around, and there's one interaction you can do, which you can place these sort of lamp posts to light up the world. So I have like an FPS game with like I have a decent input system, I think. It doesn't have all of the feature, but it has, I think it has a good start, which is sort of important for me. I do have some city generation. It's pretty ugly, but it's something. This is city or village, and over here I have a different type, which is more like a bandit camp. I have caravans moving around the map somewhere. They spawn from time to time. And there's like terrain, forests, and lighting. Oops. And so that's where I am right now, which is a pretty fun place to be. My progress this year has been kind of slow. It's been consistent, which is quite good, or sort of consistent, but it's still been quite slow and not quite good enough, I feel like. And one of the things that I've done to sort of address that is I've started to keep a journal, actually, using the theme system. And it's actually helping me, I think, to do a little bit of work every day, and some days that little bit of work turns into a lot more work. I can just show a quick overview here of what that looks for me. So this is like a daily tracker for me for different tasks that I have. And I feel this is actually helping me, and I feel like my rate of production has improved in the last couple of months, except for like December, where I was sick and we went on vacation and all that stuff. So it has been improving, and I think one of the most promising parts is that my motivation for the game has actually almost increased during the course of this year. Usually, like for hobby projects, it's common for me to be like, I start working on it, and then like 2 weeks later, I'm like, something else comes in between, and then I lose it basically. But this time I've been like, even though I have like gone on vacation for 2 or 3 weeks and then come back, I actually still want to continue working on it, and I want to like every month it feels like my motivation has been growing and growing rather than subsiding, which is really good. Promising, I think. So my aims for early 2023 or 2023 is that I want to make a game that's completable or losable. And basically what I'm just going to do as a start is I'm going to take this lamp posting mechanic, and I'm going to make it so that you need to take your character from one village to another. Should be more than one, somewhere around here. And just place lampposts along that line. But if you are caught out in the darkness when the night hits, then you basically die because there's like monsters or something. Just like a fade to black. But if you manage to complete it, then you've like won the game. So that's just like a very early goal for this. And another thing that I'm doing, I've started to prepare for it, but I haven't actually started playing it yet. But I'm preparing a hex scroll campaign with my tabletop role playing group. So probably gonna use this, and I've got a lot of books during the years, which will help me with all of these types of things. So this is really cool. It has like all of these books are cool, but I quite like this one. It has a lot of tables for generating locations and everything that can be found inside it. And I really think that this tabletop campaign can help me figure out both like rules and settings and lore and all sorts of things for Elvengroin. And you know, it'll really widen my skills and my ideas, I think, on what I want to do with Elvengroin as well. So that's going to be exciting. And my more longer aims for 2023 in general is I want to combine, because I don't do that yet. I want to combine the offline generation with the actual game. Because right now I can generate things offline, but the things that you see here in the game, they are actually like it's a completely different generation that's done actually like in real time. So I want to like merge those two. That's gonna be great, I think. That's really necessary for me to really start doing more interesting things. I want to add like core game functionality that you would expect, something like combat, inventory, NPCs, just a little bit of each of those things. Work a little bit on the world generation. Right now it's quite mountainous everywhere, and I want to have it a little bit more varied, more interesting. And I want to be able to do things like maybe generate roads and maybe generate like layers of information where it can be like, okay, this is an area where there is a forest maybe, and then I can use that in the gameplay for certain things. I want to make it prettier because it's not super pretty at the moment. You know, it is what it is with my skills, but I'm learning as I go. Hopefully, I can get that's also a goal, to maybe start getting a contribution or two on GitHub to help me out with some things, and that would be great this year. I'm not aiming for the game to be fun by the end of the year. I'm just aiming for it to start to have like a foundation of things you would expect in this type of game. And for 2024, I want to start to attract more people and actually maybe build a team of people who would like to help out. And I want to have, hopefully in 2024, maybe I can have one or two aspects that start to wow people. That like people, I can show like a short video or something and people can be like, oh, that's actually pretty cool. So that's my goal. I think that's basically it. Thank you for listening, and excuse me for my coughing.